The business relationship between big and small businesses may not be as straightforward as it appears. According to the participants of the study, corporates lack understanding and don't behave transparently. Some founders also reported incidents of unfair pricing and overly strict payment terms. SMME owners felt particularly vulnerable to the ethical misconduct of the other. This includes corruption, bribery and discrimination.
Entrepreneurs feel like they are incredibly badly treated by the corporates that they do business with. And that's a problem, because if you're badly treated, you'll sometimes walk away from doing business with those corporates, and that really constrains your growth and your ability to be successful in the future. And to be without small businesses is a very, very serious thing for our country.
The founder is sort of like the ethical compass of the business. But when you got into especially the qualitative, which was through, actual verbatim sort of like comments from entrepreneurs, you started finding, the real dynamic. Firstly, how easily contracts would be breached, how sort of like at risk, their IP was, and for me, what was interesting was the two schools of thought. The one which said, well, as a small business, once I do something ethically, questionable, that's the end of me as a business. On the other side, you had someone who said it was too expensive a cost to try to be ethical when you're dealing in an environment where like the power lies with big business.
Entrepreneurs who attended the event agree with the findings of the study and are calling for businesses to change the status quo.
This is a society that we are in, where race speaks to race, money speaks to money. If you're an SMME, you can't deal with the big guys. Big guys prefer other big guys. That's a reality.
The small business directly are suffering from all angles, particularly those who are coming from food perspective. Dealing with big companies, multinational companies like wholesaler businesses, they pulling the small business from pricing, from the processes that you need to follow with them, which is make it hard and difficult for those who are on the ground to run their business. So which is the small business are struggling. We lose much of our grip. Part of it, you need to make a turnaround strategies time and time, which is very, very tiring because of business plan changes. But the way things are changing at the top is not easy for us at all.
So if we are to fundamentally restructure our economy, we have to address these impediments beyond the ethical stuff. I mean, I can wax lyrically about how we have experienced personally unethical behavior and the bullying that you speak about by big business.
The panel of speakers that also consisted of business leaders also identified and acknowledged the challenges faced by SMMEs and say more needs to be done.
We've ensured that we're able to engage with them in a manner that is beneficial to both parties. And I think when you look at the rest of our business, the work that we do within the NASPIS Foundry, for instance, this is our 1.4 billion rand fund that we run, you see that, this is a focused on supporting early stage businesses. So for us, being able to engage with entrepreneurs is such a critical part of our business because we've been there. We weren't always as large as we are today.
Business does not need government's permission to pay their suppliers in 30 days. We're beginning to measure at BUSA those that pay their black SMEs in 7 days. And they don't lose anything. Yes, they lose the 23 days of interest, but they get it more than double in the BE points for early settlement. Business does not need government's permission to address issues of gender equality and pay parity. It needs one CEO at the end of today to go to their human capital department and say, show me a spreadsheet of how we pay women versus men for work of equal value. It should be unacceptable.
The report concludes that the findings about the perceived mistreatment of small businesses by large corporates is alarming. It says it is vital that these are addressed as they undermine the bedrock of the SMME ethical ecosystem. Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.